conspiracy theory really cause real-world chaos? Welcome to the wild world of Pizzagate. Buckle up, honey, because this one is a hot mess with real stakes.
Alright, let's get into it. I am Emma. This is Emma Spills the Tea, and my mood today is high-key caffeinated and low-key over people falling for nonsense on the internet. We're spilling serious tea with a side of receipts and a dash of common sense. So, let's talk Pizzagate. It is a fully debunked conspiracy theory that popped up during the 2016 election. The claim was that a child sex trafficking ring tied to Democratic Party figure was running out of a DC pizzeria called Comet Ping Pong. There was zero credible evidence. Law enforcement and investigative journalists debunked it repeatedly. But online, it spread like wildfire, and in the real world, it led to harassment, threats, and worse, the offline kind.
Let me set the scene with a little story. A few years back, I'm at a city event, food trucks, live music, total vibe. Suddenly, I hear this whisper ripple through the crowd. A celebrity is secretly here. Not naming names, but think A-list singer level with stadium tours and a perfume line. People start sprinting, phones up. Everyone is like, I swear I saw their security. It turns into a scavenger hunt fueled by adrenaline and Instagram stories.
The stakes felt weirdly high. If you were the one to spot them, instant clout. So we are all chasing shadows. Some guy swears a black SUV means it is real. Another girl claims she heard a vocal warm-up from the porta potties. I cannot. After like an hour of chaos, the event organizer gets on a mic. There is no secret celebrity. Everyone go drink water. The letdown. The side-eye. The wasted time. I felt so silly. And here's the kicker. I did not even ask myself the obvious question. Who started it, and why would it be true? That day I learned, verify before you amplify. Our brains love a dramatic story, and that is the same emotional button Pizzagate pushed. Only this was not a fake celeb sighting. This was a moral panic dressed up as internet sleuthing. And the fallout was terrifying. Okay, let's move on and break it down ELI 5 style. In 2016, John Podesta, who chaired a presidential campaign, had his emails hacked and published online. Conspiracy promoters cherry-picked normal words like pizza and decided they were code for horrific crimes. Picture reading your friend's pizza order and deciding it's Morse code to Mars. That level of reach. From there, it hopped across forums and social platforms. Reddit threads lit up. When moderators finally banned one of the main subreddits for doxing, a lot of the conversation migrated to Vote, a Reddit-like site that leaned far-right and had looser rules. Meanwhile, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube were the highway. Bot networks and coordinated accounts juiced the engagement. It looked like mass buy-in, but a lot of it was amplification theater.
Comet Bing Bong, a pizza spot in DC with live music, became ground zero. Staff were doxxed, neighbors were harassed. Yelp had to lock reviews because people were spamming nonsense instead of actual dining experiences. Then, in May 2016, an armed man named Edgar Madison Welch drove to the restaurant to, quote, self-investigate. He fired shots. Thank God no one was hurt. He was arrested and in 2017 was sentenced to 4 years by Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, who was a federal judge and is now a Supreme Court justice. He later apologized and called it foolish and reckless. That is the real-world cost of online lies.
Let's jump to the megaphones. Some names you probably saw connected to this. Mike Cernovich, a right-wing media personality who thrives on controversy. Brittany Pettibone, now Brittany Selmer, a conservative activist and YouTuber. Jack Posobiec, a right-wing provocateur and media figure. They pushed this narrative hard, dressing it up like citizen journalism. Then there were conspiracy outlets like InfoWars, Alex Jones's site known for sensational claims, The Vigilant Citizen, a blog that reads hidden symbols into pop culture, and sites like Your Newswire and Conservative Daily Post, both notorious for false stories. All of them fed the fire. Even some high-profile figures outside politics dipped in. Andrew Bogut, an NBA player, tweeted in ways that Pizzagate fans embraced, and when he got injured, some conspiracy folks spun a wild karma narrative that was absolutely baseless. Notch Person, who created the game Minecraft, also engaged with it online, and the Epoch Times, a far-right publication tied to the Falun Gong movement, pushed related narratives in its German-language editions. The more clout a person had, the more oxygen the story got. Now, I try to see the human side too. No, but hear me out. If your brand is built on being an outsider truth teller, the attention economy pressures you to always have the next shocking reveal. Your audience is waiting for a plot twist. Algorithms reward engagement. The feedback loop is intoxicating. Mix in political incentives and a distrust of mainstream media, and you can convince yourself you're doing noble work. But good intentions do not turn false claims into facts. And when people get targeted and threatened, that is not activism, that is abuse. Okay, cause. Big unanswered question people love to toss around. Did the FBI secretly confirm Pizzagate? Short answer, no. Long answer, this is classic misinformation strategy, evoking authority to imply proof that never arrives. The documented reality is that DC police and major outlets debunked the claims. The FBI did investigate threats tied to the conspiracy and looked at foreign interference questions around 2016. But that is not confirmation of the conspiracy. That is law enforcement dealing with the chaos it created. If someone says the FBI confirmed it, ask for the public report, the case number, or a statement. If all you get is "trust me" or a screenshot of a forum, that is not evidence. That is fan fiction. And when the story met reality, believers moved the goalposts. Some even called the Comet ping pong shooting a false flag to discredit their online sleuthing. That is how conspiracy thinking protects itself. Any fact that contradicts the narrative is absorbed into the narrative. It is a logic black hole. Alright, what's next? The long tail. Around 2020, it resurged on TikTok, the short video platform where dance trends live. People blended Pizzagate content with mainstream culture posts, like a carousel where a makeup tutorial is followed by a conspiracy montage. That mashup makes extreme ideas feel normal and low-key entertaining. Researchers also saw bot networks and coordinated campaigns helping it spike. Then in 2026, it bubbled up again when the so-called Epstein files got headlines. Jeffrey Epstein was a financier and convicted sex offender whose cases have fueled a lot of speculation. People grafted new documents onto old false narratives. Same energy, new costumes. Meanwhile, the fallout touched places that did nothing wrong. Nearby eateries got threats. A Brooklyn restaurant called Roberta's got dragged into it and harassed. Even an Austin pizza spot was targeted to vandalism linked to Illuminati fantasies. It's like throwing paint at a wall and calling the random splatters a map. The social cost is real. People lost safety, businesses lost money, and artists who painted murals at venues were doxxed. Years later, Welch cycled through prison, was released, and in 2025 was involved in a tragic confrontation with police that ended in his death. The human wreckage is not a plotline. It is families, workers, and neighbors living with fear. Before we go further, we need to address this. Pizzagate did not die. It rebranded and fed into QAnon, a sprawling conspiracy movement that absorbed a lot of these claims and then expanded them into a global cabal narrative. When a story evolves from partisan blame to a vague global elite, it becomes harder to falsify in people's minds. It is slippery on purpose. Okay, we covered a lot. The takeaway: ordinary emails were twisted into supposed code, French forums pumped it into the mainstream, influencers and conspiracy outlets amplified it, platforms wrestled with it, but whack-a-mole is real. And the offline results were harassment, threats, and a gunman in a family restaurant. That is not spicy internet drama. That is a cautionary tale. Next time we have to talk QAnon, the movement that took this narrative and turned it into a franchise, the plot twist, the drops, the culture war cosplay. We are going there. So, that's the tea, folks. Verify before you amplify. Protect your empathy, not your engagement metrics. Stay smart out there, and don't let the next hot mess live rent-free in your head. Later!